Hello all my lovely little cupcakes, how are we doing today? So today's video we have got a special guest with us today. We have got a trans man coming on and we're going to be talking about all sorts of subjects ranging from surgeries, ranging from coming out stories and etc, etc. So why not, we are going to get cracking on with this video and I'm going to introduce you to my special guest. So we have my guest as came on now, so say hi and introduce yourself. Tell us your name, pronouns, gender and your age.
Hi, my name is Alex. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm trans and I'm 20 years old.
Oh, fabulous. So, as most of you know, my name is Charlotte Venables. I am a transgender female. I use the pronouns her, she and hers. I am 25 years old and I'm from Stoke-on-Trent. So, let's just get going on with this. Are you quite excited to be here, Alex?
Yes.
Fabulous. So, I've asked a load of people a bunch of questions of what you guys wanted to know and what we should talk about. So I'm going to start off with how we came out as transgender and if there's actually any differences like between each other's others. So let's start off with, how did you come out as transgender and when did you realise you were transgender?
I came out when I was 17. And then I kind of went back into the closet for a little bit until I was like 18, 19.
Oh right, okay.
And then I've been out since then.
So how come you went like back into the closet?
I came out in a completely wrong way. I was very abrupt and rude when I did it. So I kind of felt guilty and I was like, no, I can't do it like that. I'm going to go back in and then give it time and come out properly and not have it be abrupt and
oh right, okay.
nasty.
That was, so I'm on the understanding that so when you came out as transgender you were very like...
forceful.
Yeah, forceful would
I was
be
like,
a good word.
oh, my name is Alex and you have to call me he, him, his.
Instantly
Instead
without thinking about
it's going to take them time to
yeah. Oh right, okay, so that'll be good. So when you came out as transgender fully, how did you know you were transgender?
I guess the first time I heard about being trans was when I was in high school. I had a really cool teacher. He did like history and RE and stuff like that. He was teaching me, and he was trans and did this big massive assembly, and he was very honest about his transitioning and everything like that. And it was, I guess that's
like that kind of like made a spark, like that could be me, or that made like sense to you for how you were feeling at that time.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was like, well, that explains me a lot, but then I'm not too sure. So
you kind of questioned it at first, kind of like, because how old was you when you went to this assembly?
I think I was about 14.
So like you were 14, you were obviously still in school, and I guess things were really confusing for you at that time as well for yourself, because I know for when I was younger I was really confused in why am I feeling these feelings, why am I experiencing like, why don't I like my body? Well, for me it was very much, I don't like my body, why do I feel like I'm more into like the very feminine aspect of things for myself, and I kind of was thinking that when I was younger I was very much of like, it's like I had this female brain but not understanding why, what the reasons were behind it. So I'm guessing, and for me I didn't have no assemblies or no
Yeah.
Because I was never opened up into that world, as to say, because I was never introduced to it. So I'm guessing that's why it's a little bit different for yourself in the sense because you were introduced and opened up to a world that kind of felt like it made sense to you.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely a very tomboy, or even I went through a lot of different phases, but the whole time it was very masculine. I hated wearing dresses and anything girly or feminine I hated wearing.
Oh, right. Well, that's where it was quite weird because, like, for me, it was the opposite. I wanted everything to be feminine and I wanted to do all the female things.
Yeah.
But never understood why. And I guess, was that how it felt for yourself?
Yeah. Like, I remember a specific memory when I was a little kid. I was pretending to be Bob the Builder underneath the chair, pretending to fix it like it was a car.
Oh, we love Bob the Builder. If you like Bob the Builder, let us know, because we love Bob the Builder. I used to love Bob the Builder as a child. It was like, I used to always remember sitting down with my brothers and stuff and watching Bob the Builder and kind of like... But I used to love Wendy. I liked Wendy.
I liked I think it was the red one.
The red one.
God, what time it's called?
Was it Scoop?
Yes, Scoop.
Was it Scoop? If we're wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know in those comments what the red one was called, if it was Scoop. So it's kind of like, so when... That's just taking me right off track now. So let's get back to where we were. So you came out when you were 17, like fully to like everybody and everything, including watching Bob the Builder and pretending a chair is a car. That was fantastic. So from that stage, like where did you go? Like what kind of happened after? Like what was like the process for you from there?
I've not really done much in the trans side of it. I've been to the gender clinic. I've had one appointment, and I've changed my name by default, but I've not started hormones or had any sort of operations yet.
Oh right, okay. So when you went to the gender clinic, which gender clinic did you go to?
I went to Leeds.
So you went to the Leeds gender clinic, and what kind of happened? Was that like your first, like an initial appointment?
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, I was feeling very dysphoric that day. I had my binder, like 3 vests, 4 t-shirts on, and a jumper on my coat when I went.
Oh right.
Because I kind of got myself worked up because I was like, I know I'm gonna have to talk about how it feels to be like trans and what I find dysphoric, what I don't find dysphoric. Because I'll have to go into like a lot of details, so then they can, for some reason, they can determine that you are actually trans and it's not just a phase.
Right, so that is how your like initial appointment kind of like went on. So from that initial appointment, what's kind of happened from there?
I changed my name by default, like I said, but I'm currently waiting to get a letter to go up and talk to the GP about starting hormones, and hopefully to start hormones that day because go to Leeds Gender Clinic. I hopefully will be starting it that day instead of having to go back for another appointment, because usually you go for an appointment to talk about hormones and all the side effects and stuff, and then you've got to wait a few months and then go back to start hormones.
So I'm guessing there's a few more appointments after that from when starting hormones. So you've had like that initial appointment, then you've gone to like a second appointment, but then so I'm guessing that second appointment is very much just talking about the hormones.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, but they said because I live so far away, they might be able to make it so I start it that day instead of having to go back.
Right, okay. So after that, like appointment that do you have a couple more appointments to obviously talk about the effects and
Yeah.
what will happen when you go on the hormones?
And appointments after it to see how the hormones are affecting me, because there's like God knows how many different side effects.
Yeah.
Positive and negative. Like facial hair, which is a big one. You can also have like go bald, like hair loss.
So
is one of the negatives. All sorts of
like different things.
Yeah.
We are going to touch on in a little bit about how hormones affect like somebody like a trans man and a trans female. So we are going to go over the hormone section and how it affects both like the different types of people, obviously for a trans woman and a trans man. So we are going to touch on that very soon. And what I would like to say before we carry on is hormones are extremely very important to somebody's transition, but at the same time hormones can be, it's not something that you should play around with. It isn't something that you should mess around with, and you have to make sure that when you do go on hormones or start hormones, do it through medical professions and do not self-medicate at all, because they can really cause a lot of harm and they have a lot of unhealthy side effects. We will talk a tad on side effects of the type of side effects that can cause me and a type of side effects that can cause you. So we are going to talk more about that very soon. So the next bit I want to touch on and kind of ask you about is surgeries, because I know for surgeries it is a big question that a lot of people have asked me. With surgeries, obviously they're very different for myself and for you, so I'm going to touch on surgeries. So with surgeries, what type of surgeries are you planning on doing, and what surgeries do what type of surgeries does a female to male generally have as a trans man?
Yeah, well, there's top surgery, which is the removal of breast tissue.
Yeah.
And there's two different types you can have. There's keyhole, which is for more smaller size chesticles, as I call them. And then there's one which I'm going to have, which is kind of, I forgot the name of it, but it's, you have an incision underneath your chesticles and then they remove them that way. And you have to take the excess skin off and remove the nipple and put it back on.
Oh right, so that's really interesting. I'm glad you've just touched on that part, because I didn't know that there was two types of surgeries where it comes to the chest for a female to male. That there is two types, so that's quite really interesting. And I think that's interesting for yourselves as well. Alongside with the obviously the chest surgery, what other type of surgeries does trans men have?
Well, that's the one which pretty much a lot of trans men have, but there's also bottom surgery. Not all trans men have it, but me personally, I'm going to have it. There's two different types. There's one which is mostly with hormones, and it's kind of just a little bit of an enlargement. But there's one which is more invasive, where they kind of use parts of the female reproductive system to actually construct the male genital areas.
Alright, so that's really interesting. I do want to touch on a little bit about this. This is something that I do kind of know about a little bit. So with the hormones, what I'm understanding with the hormones, with the clitoris, that does actually extend out. So with that, so obviously then that becomes like, if I remember the correct word for it, it's micro penis. So it is a micro penis that you would actually gain from the hormone tablets. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So alongside with that, would you tend to have like a bit of surgery done on that without having the full extent surgery as
yeah. You have a graft from either your thigh or your arm to put around, so then it's not just muscle.
Oh right, okay, so they would use obviously a skin graft from another area to allow to have more of a penis as a genital area. So with that one, so that's obviously with HRT does obviously extend the clitoris for that type of person. On the other surgery, the extensive surgery as you were talking about just, what is that kind of involved? Why is that more extensive compared to the other surgery? Could you explain that a bit?
Yes, yeah, of course. Basically, on a female reproductive, you have like the canal bit up to the actual part where you hold a baby, like the baby's carried. They remove the bit where you keep, like, have a kid from, but the actual bit leading up to is what they use for the inside of the penis.
Oh right, okay then. So that's quite interesting to know, because with trans men as well, when they have more of the extensive surgery for that side, obviously it's used by pumping to enable to gain the erection and deflating an erection. Am I on the understanding that you can't fully maintain erection without the pump?
Yeah, you can't. It's
oh right, okay.
Because with someone who's born male, they have a main vein, which is makes it like hard. But with someone who's transitioning like myself, we don't have that main vein.
No, because obviously an erection is caused by a blood flow. That's what an erection is caused by an automatic blood flow. So I'm guessing that obviously at the moment, as I personally know, and as you know, that isn't something that could able to be done with surgery as of yet. To obviously increase that blood flow with to increase that blood flow on a trans man at the moment. So obviously that's used through pumps. So okay, so that's genitalia. So now we've got the chest, genitalia out of the way. Is there any more surgeries that a trans man tends to have?
You can have like where you get like your general face shape change.
Oh right, so FFS. So facial feminization. Is it called something different? Because for a trans female, it's called FFS. What it stands for, facial feminizing surgery. Is it called something different for a trans man?
I think so. Yeah, I don't actually know the specific name because I don't personally think that I will have that done, because it's something you have to pay for. You can't get it done on the NHS.
Yes, that is very true. Now, something I would actually like to say right now, the only surgeries you can only get on the NHS as at the moment is bottom surgery. I am on the understanding that NHS don't pay for top surgery.
For myself, yes.
Trans men, yeah. Oh, right, okay, I didn't know that. So for trans men, that the NHS only pay for
top and bottom surgery.
Top and bottom. Oh, do they pay for both of them?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. So for trans men, for the NHS in the UK, they pay for only for trans men top surgery and bottom surgery. For trans females, NHS do only pay for bottom surgery. That's the only thing that they pay for.
Something new.
But you do get on the NHS as well 8 free ways of hair remove sessions. So you do get 8 ways of hair removal sessions for free on the NHS when you first start, and you get bottom surgery for free. But then for trans female, that we have to pay for chest, face. For myself, as most of you know, that I am extremely thinning on top of my hair, so I will be getting a hair transplant. Obviously I have to pay for that, and any other surgeries that I want. So that's quite interesting to know, actually. So for yourself, that being a trans man, they do pay for those
Yeah.
2 surgeries. Oh, right. So I am going to look up for what it's called for trans men for yourself for your face surgery. I am going to read that in the description for you with people to go over and read. Because I think that'll be quite interesting. So for the trans man face surgery, that's what we're going to call it right now. Face surgery just for the trans men. What's your idea behind that? Is that something that you want to look into more, or?
At this moment in time, no, because I don't have, me personally, I don't think that I have that much of a feminine face, especially if I have my hair cut.
Yeah.
But I don't feel very dysphoric around how my face looks.
So that's not where your main dysphoria is, so you don't feel the need to take that step on through that. And that is something actually very important as well, actually, because I believe that you should only have surgeries for where you feel the need to have surgeries, because surgeries are absolutely a massive and big thing. Like, surgeries aren't just for any old person, because there is so much behind the surgery, and the feel that you get from those surgeries can be actually, it's exhausting and I'm guessing really stressful. Even though saying that, I haven't had any personal surgeries done as yet. Have you?
I've not had any. I've never had an operation done on me. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now the next bit that I think I want to touch on now is more of dysphoria. So for dysphoria, dysphoria does affect different people in different ways. What dysphoria is, now I'm going to explain what dysphoria is, because it's very important that you understand what it is before we start talking about it. Dysphoria is basically where you don't like or you feel comfortable. Actually, I should say it's not something that you feel comfortable working out on your own body, and it causes you stress and it causes you problems on a day-to-day basis of life. That's what dysphoria is. Dysphoria is something where you can't cope. Even seeing it can cause you massive stress. So that's what dysphoria is. So I'm going to start off with dysphoria with myself first. So my biggest dysphoria is my face. So I don't like my face. Have quite a manly face. That's not something I hate my face. My voice, I don't like my voice at all, and my chest, those are really, it's my face and my chest, those are my biggest dysphorias. So really it's the upper part of my body that I'm really dysphoric with. So for yourself, what is your biggest dysphorias?
My chest and my bottom half. So basically anything from my neck down, I feel very dysphoric about.
Alright, so we're both quite different in that self-respect, because obviously for you it's very chest down, and for me it's very chest up. So that's quite interesting, and this is something why I wanted to have somebody like yourself on here and talking about things like this, because this is why I mean that all trans people are very different, and we all suffer in very similar ways, but we all have different, like, dysphoria. We all have different thoughts, we all have different, like, thoughts and things that we want to do and go through. So for me, like, for a surgery, for me, it's like I want me face, so I want FFS, what is facial feminizing surgery. That's something I really want. I want my chest, so I'm looking at having a boob job and a hair transplant. Bottom surgery, yes, I do want bottom surgery, but it's not something that causes me personally an issue. It doesn't cause a problem to me, as to say. So I am going to wait for my bottom surgery for a little bit, I want to have my face done first before I have bottom surgery. That is the way that I personally want to go around with it. What about yourself? What?
I want to start hormones first, and then I'm going to have top surgery and then bottom surgery, because as far as I'm concerned, you can't get anything that, like, for a trans man we can get something called a PACA or an STP.
Yes.
And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's anything like that, but for yourselves.
There is many products out there for trans women, but the issue is with it, they are very, very expensive. So there is things that you can have fake vaginas and stuff, and you can actually wear them. You can pee in them, you can sit in them, you can do pretty much everything in them. But we are talking in the cost and the region around about £400 to £500 for a good one. So it is very different. I'm sorry people, this piece of hair here is really annoying me. So yeah, very, very expensive. So they're not open to like everybody. What are the pricing for like packers and stuff like that?
Well, it kind of varies. If you get a packer, then it's just something that kind of makes the illusion of someone having already have had bottom surgery. But an STP is something you can actually like pee out of, and you can use for multiple, like you can use to pleasure someone else or yourself or something like that.
So I didn't actually realise that that was the difference between a packet and a what?
STP.
STP. Do you know what that stands for?
Stand to pee packer.
Oh right, okay. So an STP and a packet, I didn't realise they were actually different till I met Alex. So with those two, what are the price rangings between like what would you say average pricing is for a packer?
A packer can be anything from 80 to 100 and something quid.
Alright, so a packer can be anything from like £80 plus.
Yes.
And for an STP, what is like the average costing for an STP, would you say?
230.
Alright, so for an STP we're talking around about 230 plus.
Because I've got an STP and a new binder on the way, and I've spent, well, my friend bought it me for my 21st, which is coming up, and he spent £290 on.
Oh, blinking ink. So yeah, so these are the type of things, and these are the things that you have to think about. It is a lot of cost. There's a lot of costs to these type of stuff. They're fantastic to have, but they cost a lot of money, don't they? Transitioning is a lot of money. Right, so now we are going to talk about hormones and the different effects with hormones with myself and with Alex. So we're going to talk a little bit about how hormones affect us in different ways. So for a trans man, how do hormones tend to affect you, and how do they work for you?
Well, with hormones, there are a lot of different effects. Like hair, you can grow facial hair, which is the one which I'm looking forward to the most. Hair loss you can have. You can also, the subcutaneous fat layer between your skin and your muscle will disappear, and which is how guys have more like apparent veins.
Yeah. So like the skin can be very different. So with cis females, the skin is a lot thinner, and with cis males, so with cis males, that the skin is a lot thicker. So obviously your skin will thicken up a lot more, and then my skin will obviously get a lot thinner. Yeah. So that's quite good.
General body odour will change.
Alright, so your body odour, in what sense of mind will your body odour change?
Guys, cis men and cis women have two completely different scents. cis men, like if you've ever been near someone who's like just come back from gym or playing football, it's a very potent, strong smell, where it's not for like a woman.
Oh right, so what I'm understanding, so with a trans man, that your odour will change to more of a BOE
Yeah,
kind of smell. So the BO and the sweat glands are a lot more
active.
than a female. Oh right, okay, so that's something I didn't realise actually is with your sweat glands with
Yeah.
they change just as much as well. I am on the understanding with when you take the HRT is your muscle mass is
Yeah.
you gain a lot more muscle mass.
Yeah.
Don't you?
So instead of my figure at the moment is an hourglass,
Yeah.
it will become more straight.
Alright, so well obviously with hormone replacement therapy, watch HRT. With HRT it does change your fat distribution, so it will change the fat distribution obviously for you.
Yeah, it'll go from being like in my thighs and my hips to more my stomach and like my arms.
Oh right, so it will really change it. So obviously for my fat distribution it will be, obviously mine will go onto like my hips, my thighs, my chest, and that's where the fat distribution can be very different for like both of us, because my muscle mass will actually drop. So for a trans female the muscle mass will drop down.
Yeah.
And my fat distribution will change, so I'll have more of the hourglass figure. For you it will be very much more of a straight wag.
Yeah.
And going like this wag. No, I have this shape. Alex will have this shape.
Yeah, like mine is more like very slim, like here, like where my hips are.
Yeah.
And like my stomach area, they're like really big hips, and my chest size is a lot bigger.
Yeah, so for you that will obviously decrease.
Like
Something that I want to touch on is estrogen and testosterone levels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, how will the HRT affect those levels?
It won't affect the estrogen.
Yeah, the estrogen. Yeah.
Estrogen, but it will increase the testosterone.
Oh right, so it won't change your estrogen levels. It will just your estrogen levels will kind of stay the same.
Yes.
But then your testosterone levels will obviously go much higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very different. So obviously for a trans female, my testosterone levels will go like right down, and then my estrogen levels will go up. So it's kind of like balances out. So at one stage it will balance, and then it will go up. My estrogen levels will, and then my testosterone levels will come down. So that's quite interesting to know that that's different for obviously both of us. So let's get this right. So for a trans man, that the estrogen levels stay the same, but your testosterone levels go a lot further up.
Yes.
And then for obviously for a trans female, the testosterone levels come down and the estrogen levels go up. Okay, so something else I want to touch on a little bit as well. Obviously for a trans male, what happens for when, like with periods and your reproductive system and stuff like that?
Well, after being on hormones for a bit, your reproductive system will basically stop. It'll be like going through teenage male puberty, and then also menopause at the same time.
Oh right, okay.
So it kind of stops your periods, and you won't produce any eggs.
Alright, so I'm guessing the reason for not producing eggs will obviously be the sterilisation of the HRT. Now that is something that I was hoping that you would actually say, to be honest. It's because with the HRT does sterilise both trans male and trans females. It does the levels of, sorry, not the levels, the HRT do sterilise both people and both genders, that you become sterilised, so obviously you won't have no eggs, semen doesn't actually give out, and you can't actually produce a child biologically. What is sad. Is that something you actually thought about?
It doesn't bother me, to be honest. Like, I've been told, because like I said, I want the more invasive operation for bottom surgery.
Yeah.
They've asked me if I want to freeze my eggs, and I've just turned around and said no, because I'm a foster child myself, and I would rather foster or adopt a kid that needs a loving home than like bringing a child in.
Yeah, I know that's fair enough. Obviously, for myself, I would be later on life. I'm actually looking at freezing my eggs because I want my own biological child. So I would be looking at very much the surrogacy route, or possibly adopting when the time comes right. So yeah, that's quite different for both of us. Obviously, you want to go for more the adoption process than surrogacy, where I kind of want to go into the surrogacy route. I think is really interesting. So yeah, those are the differences between HRT, obviously for myself and for you. For a trans male, they will grow hair, so they will grow body hair.
Yes,
is that correct?
I can grow hair on my chest. My legs will get thicker, thicker on my arms, my back, pretty much anywhere that a cis man gets hair, I'll get it.
Pretty much, yeah. So for trans male, the HRT will change the distribution of fat, change body hair, and they will change, something else, what you did forget to mention actually, that I do know trans men do change a lot.
Oh, libido.
No, your voice.
Oh yeah, my voice will get deeper.
That is something actually what is very different with trans men and trans female, that what I am very jealous of, and I don't like trans men for this reason. Love you really. That with trans men on HRT, that the HRT actually deepens trans men's voices.
Yeah, so it'll be like less like I am now, more like high.
Yeah.
Just a lot more deeper and stuff.
With trans females, the HRT does not change the voice.
I
at all.
didn't know that.
No. So with trans women, the HRT does not change the voice, but with trans men, the HRT does change the voice. That's why I hate trans men. Not really. I do actually love all trans people, but I don't like trans men because you get your voices changed for you automatically, pretty much by hormones.
Yeah.
Where for myself, for me to change my voice, I have to do voice lessons. If voice lessons don't actually work, I have to look into, what's it called?
I'm not too sure.
Throat surgery. So with the vocal cords will be, so with a male's vocal cords, they are much thicker, like this, and that's what gives out the vibration. Now with a female's vocal cords, they're a lot thinner and slim, so there's less vibration into it. Because they basically put onto strings, as to think of it. So if I can't personally change my voice through exercises and through voice lessons, that it can be changed through surgery. So basically what happens with the surgery, they put a rod down and they actually close the area up, so they bring those two strings in together. What I do think is really interesting. But
it's very interesting, but sounds
very painful.
Very painful.
So you all for trans men don't have that issue.
No.
Because tablets do that all for you.
It's not a tablet. It's an injection.
I know, it's the injection, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is actually another thing with HRT, there is different forms actually you can have it in. So for trans women, I personally know myself that you can have it in tablet form or injections. What is it for trans men?
You can get it in kind of like a tablet, cream or injection. The best effect you're going to get is with an injection, which you go to your doctors whenever they tell you to, and you get an injection in your butt.
Oh yeah, that's very true. So for me, actually that has just reminded me, so alongside with going HRT as well, they do come into a patch form, a gel form, tablet form and injections. And if I remember rightly, you can actually get the injection tablet form and you can get the patch form as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, do correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so there is different forms you can take HRT. Different people have different effects on the way how they take it, and different people, it affects different people depending on the way that you take it. So yeah, so after all of that lovely information that we have given you today, so we have spoken about loads of different things today, so I'm really happy with what we've spoken about today.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I've really enjoyed myself. It's been great. It's been good to like let people know like all the information and find out the difference between.
Yeah, like the different sides between us two, and the differences between transitioning from male to female and female to male.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's been very interesting. I've really actually enjoyed doing this video. Just as much as you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learnt a lot of new information.
And that's really good. So for now, I am going to wrap this up. So thank you very much for watching. If you're still watching, I am going to leave, if you haven't already followed me on social media as of yet, I am on Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter and Snapchat. I am all of them. I'm going to leave all the links in the description box for me. You got any social media that people could follow you on?
Instagram.
Okay, that is fantastic. I am going to leave Alex's link in the description to his Instagram account, so please go over and follow him, and you will be seeing a bit more of you. You're coming into a couple more videos, aren't you, later on? So we will be seeing a lot more of Alex, and that should be absolutely fantastic. So for now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and you found it educational. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. You know, that big red button underneath. Touch it, click it, and don't forget to have the notification bell switched on so you'll be up and ready for all new upcoming content. So for now, bye! Bye!